Hello YouTube, 87 Ricer here. Say, I'm starting off at this lake just down the road from where I live. And to be honest with you, it's a beautiful day. Very, very beautiful day. Today I am on the, well, my daughter named this bike Shadow, but to be honest with you, since picking it up, this bike has started giving me troubles starting up. Going uphill is very, very slow, and so I'm just gonna let it go. I know what I paid for it. It really wasn't that much, and I only put 200 miles on it since I got it, but I'm actually going to sell it for just a hair under what I paid for it. I just bought a carburetor for it, and I bought some roller weights, and to be honest with you, even though it gives me a hard time wanting to start up, which you could, like, by starting up, I mean, you could crank and crank and crank and crank, and it'll try to fire up, but it doesn't want to, so it just cranks and cranks, and then eventually the carburetor or the bike just decides, okay, now I'm gonna fire up. And so, I mean, there's a side of me that says just sell it for a little under what I paid for it. I'm gonna keep the carburetor and the roller weights for my wife's bike. But to be honest with you, I'm thinking about also maybe keeping this as a parts bike for hers, because there's quite a few things I could use off of this bike to fix hers in case hers actually quits. And it's just kind of going through my mind, like, I really don't know what I want to do. All I know is if I get my money back out of it, hey, I'm taking a little bit of a loss, but for only putting 200 miles on it, it's not doable for me to ride it around, because it's going to give me a headache every time I try to get it to start up, because I don't know if it's going to start up or if it's just going to continue to crank and crank each time I want to go for a ride. I mean, there's plenty of times so far where I've been riding this and I come to a complete stop and it'll just stall out on me. So I have a feeling that it could be the carburetor that just needs to be replaced or cleaned. I definitely got roller weights for it, but I'm not going to put those on if I'm going to get rid of it, and I'm not going to sell them with the new carburetor, because it was only like 30 bucks from Amazon, and I can use that for my wife's bike. So like I said, as of right now, I got it listed, but to be honest with you, it's also one of those things where it runs, it rides. Even though it gives me a hell of a time trying to start up, it will start up, and it does. And then I'm able to ride it. But, like I said, I can also use it as a full parts bike for my wife's when hers decides to start going crazy. But hers is only a year old now, and it's got the same amount of mileage that this does. And this one's a 2016. So, I'm really in a limbo with that issue. And then while this one idle, when I am at a stop, this one it'll idle high, it'll idle low, so it surges. It'll run fine, it'll run high, it'll run low, run high. But it always has a slow takeoff. Like I said, as of right now, that's just the issue with the bike. So I mean, I may just unlist it and keep it as a parts and ride it from time to time and fight with it and cuss. But I mean, because at least the bike goes about the same speed as my wife's. It's just gonna give me it's just gonna give me issues starting up. And I mean, when I started up, I gotta leave it on the center stand. And rev the piss out of it just to keep it running. Otherwise it'll shut off and it takes a little bit to get it running again. But like I said, once it runs, then it seems like it does just fine. It's just the initial starting up, and that's really where it comes down to. I have a feeling that the starter's gonna go out before the motor quits. if you know what I'm saying. But so I did a video riding around last time, and I said I was gonna do a top 10 bed and breakfasts here in town. But to be honest with you, I'm gonna eat my words, and I'm just gonna bite the bullet on that one. I'm not gonna really do a top 10 because honestly, for a top 10 bed and breakfast in Hermann, I'm literally just driving from block to block and pointing at houses and telling you where to go. Ooh, look at that badass ride. I've got to take a better look at that beautiful car. That's a hot rod. Look at the stance on it. Hi. What year is that car? A 29? Nice. It really looks good.
Nice morning to be out.
It is. That's the 87er bridge. $19.29. Man, that thing is gorgeous. It is beautiful. You can tell it's got some modern mechanisms on that to make it run way better than a 29. But man, it looks beautiful. So anyways, I'm not gonna do a whole video on top 10 guest house bed and breakfasts. It's just, after I thought about it, I was like, man, I should have just not said that. It sounded cool at the very moment, and now that I think about it, it's gonna suck because literally most of the places are in town, so just literally like right up from each other, from like block to block or street to street, or just not even a full mile out of town. So it really, I figured maybe that isn't the best thing to do. So I haven't really said anything about this, but there was actually a small movie production that was in Hermann last December, so December of last year, and they were filming a movie, like I said, a low budget movie, but like one of the kind of movies that they have to distribute it, or they gotta find a distributor to buy it, and then it would become like a Hallmark kind of show or movie. So this movie, they decided to call it a Christmas Vintage. A Christmas Vintage. And they were out here for like 15 days or 16 days just filming. They were out here for like 15 or 16 days just filming. And so they mostly did like in town, just a hair out of town. All very, very easy to film locations. And I could actually I'm thinking that I'm just gonna go ahead and take you guys on that kind of a tour around town to kind of show you where they actually filmed at. One of the locations I've driven by many times, and it was done on, they filmed out at Adam Puchta or Pukta winery, which I call that road the winery road, because that's where the winery is, and I call it that road. I call it the Adam Puchta or winery road because I don't really always recall what the real name of that road is, so I just know it as Winery Road. And so I could start there because there's this virtual map that Hermann has. There's an app, and it does tour guides in certain cities and states. And Hermann is on that tour guide, and I will try to put the link to that app in the description as well, or I will spell out exactly how to find that app in the description. So the tour that is going to be on the app, they do a Christmas vintage tour guide and film, and like it does little video snippets and audio snippets of different places that you can visit while you're in certain towns. And so I'm gonna do a video of that, and I'll just take you on that guide, but my way. And if you decided you want to go and use that app, then that's cool. Now, a Christmas Vintage is what the name of the movie is, that they came up with it themselves. But if a distributor decides to buy it, they could rename it to something that they want and actually modify the movie to kind of how they like it. But like I said, it was a low budget movie production that came in, which is still pretty cool for this town because they did not change any of the names of the places that they were using in the movie. And a lot of the places that they filmed at, you know, some movies try to mimic it in the arts department, and they build up kind of small replicas of what is actual buildings that we have here in town in some other movies. So because of the old wine cellars and stuff, sometimes other movies don't go to real winery wine cellars, and they don't use the authentic kind of, you know, the kind of authentic visual. They replicate it by building it. Well, while they were here, they didn't have to really build anything. They used what was available here, which is cool. And a lot of the names, and they used they used some out-of-town extras, and they also used Hermann local extras. So there was actually a few people that I knew from town that are actually in the movie as extras. And so anyway, I'm going to end the video here at Dollar General, and the next video that I put up is actually going to be a Christmas vintage tour by me, 87 Ricer. That's going to be the next video that I will do, because I can actually ride to all the places that they filmed on this little scooter. And since that one cop gave me troubles, it's honestly, I just got over it, and I figured, screw it, you know, I'm gonna ride this bike where I have ridden it many times before, and if they don't like it, lump it. I mean, I don't ride it very far on the major highway. I literally rode around to Hermann Bluff, where the Hermann farm is, and that's where they caught me at. So, or that's where he caught me at. So, it's one of those things where I'm just gonna do it again, and hopefully he's not sitting around that bluff to scold me or tell me that he warned me once. So anyways, I'm 87 Ricer. I'm gonna end the video here. If you like the video, I know I was just chit-chatting, but as you can hear, this bike is surging. It just surges. Runs high, runs low, runs high, runs low. But anyway, I'm gonna end it here. Next video will be a Christmas vintage tour guide. Peace. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification, and thank you all for watching my channel. I appreciate it. I do these videos for you all because I enjoy doing them, and I'm glad that you all like to watch. I very much appreciate every one of you. Thank you. Peace.